All right, guys, it's time for another season. I wanted to walk with you slowly through some of the transfers that we made because we got a lot of really big players here. So we'll go over here to the squad and, I mean, we'll just show it to you right up. You know, Maradona, we had him before, actually. It's probably easier here to look at the tactics page. We were able to go out and get Ronaldo from PSV. Ronaldo, who was the Golden Boot winner, and brought him along. That happened actually a couple months before the end of the season, and he's now come on. And the big win for us was getting Pele, who was successful in getting, I think it was Santos, promoted into the Premier League. But we were able to convince him to come anyway. We had to make him a whole ton of promises, however. Now, there's some beef that we've created because when you look at the dynamics, Ronaldo is worried that Pele will take his position in the team, even though he hadn't played any games yet. And he's got people agreeing with him already. Armando Broja and Milan Galic agree, and that's because there's the two other strikers who are good, but maybe not Pele good. A whole bunch of people disagree, and so we do have sort of the squad split into camps. I'm not sure if that's fully reflected here in the social groups or not. It doesn't look like it, and as usual, Pele's kind of off in his own little social group out there, so whatever. We're not going to worry about it too much. At least it's not going to hurt the entire squad. A lot of these guys are names that you know, but some of them, well, you know the name, but they haven't been around. We were able to go out and get Bobby Moore to help with the defense. Now, the thing about Bobby Moore is that he doesn't have that acceleration and pace that we like to see from center back. But, I mean, is Bobby Moore. We'll be fine. Kevin Ratcliffe is one that we had before. In fact, I wasn't going to start him on the first team squad for a little while, but then we put a couple guys out on loan, and so we decided to go over and grab him as well. And we have Nuno Mendes, who we recently got playing there at the left. So we've done a lot. Cristiano Ronaldo's on this squad as well. We went and picked him up for a little bit more firepower up front. Our front four is so good that he can't fit in. I mean, he's only 19 though, so he'll be fine. Cha Bum-kun, also a South Korean legend, ends up coming onto the team. We got Messi as well, who will be backing up Maradona on the right side. We got, for the sake of being ridiculous, we got Daniel James, who I suppose was involved with the B team on this day, so he's not going to be able to go in. We kind of let the assistant manager figure that out. And I think that's it in terms of like really big names. Well, we do have Eddie Niktia, whose name I'm almost certainly saying incorrectly, who we went out and got as well as another strong striker. So as you can imagine, we've had a lot of changes up here. We've made a lot of changes to the personnel. A lot of names that we had before have moved on. And you would think that with a team like this, you know, we would be shoo-ins to win the whole thing, right? When we go over here to competitions, and it's going to take a while for this to open up, and we go look at the Premier League. So remember, we do the 4 divisions first, and then we're split up based upon how we finished. We go over here to the season preview and we'll take a look. Augsburg are definitely not picked to finish first. In fact, we're picked to finish 27th. We are 3,000 to 1 odds on trying to win the league. Everyone thinks Real Madrid or Barcelona is going to win. We did steal a player from Barcelona, but apparently it's not going to help that much. And then there are FC Bayern as well. So I don't know. Maybe it's going to be helpful for us, maybe not. There's no question about it. Pele is ranked as the biggest key player in this huge league, but the next player we have listed is a little bit further down, be Maradona, and he's a little bit near the center, and there's a lot of excellent players between the two of them. So we'll see what happens. We only have one player in the Dream 11, and that would also be Pele. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens this season. I was not expecting us to be picked for maybe 27th choice in terms of winning the league. And that's kind of the way that it goes. Now, I've done a lot of this ridiculousness here with transfers, and the reason for this was mostly because this is going to be my last save with FM23. That doesn't mean the end of Football Manager for me, but I want to make sure that we go out of FM23 with a bang and that we have some fun with it, right? And that's the whole idea behind it. I'm not sure how long this save will go, though I have reason to want to make this go for several more seasons. So this one might take a while for us to really play through, in part because I don't think that we will win everything this next season, though I would like to, and in part because we have a lot of cool young players that I want to see develop. This is what the under-19s look like. We have like a million players on this squad. They tend to be very, very fast. We have players who are worth huge amounts of money already at the ages of like 15, 16, 17, and so on and so forth. Some of these guys are really good and are the sort of players that I would really like to see, you know, how they develop further on. For example, I think it's James Taylor, if I remember right, who's a Scottish player who we were able to pick up, and he's got just incredible stats for someone who just turned 16. We'll see if we can develop him into a big player and sort of see what happens in the future. As much as I like to talk about like the fun players you can grab and all the cool stuff you can do, and you know me playing with the famous legendary player database and all this stuff, it's really these players, these under 19s, that make Football Manager interesting, especially the players who are creations by the game itself. These are the sort of guys that are really, really fascinating and interesting to play with because anything could happen with them, and the more you can collect, the better. We have probably a couple $100 million worth of players just sitting here right in front of you. We remember this one, right? Tim Edenharter, who I believe is the Augsburg homegrown kid. Let's take a look and just make sure. Yeah, he is. We'll see what happens in his career. He remains a little bit of a problem because of the inconsistency and the injury proneness. But everybody thinks he's going to be a superstar anyway, and he's a model citizen. We'll see what happens, right? We're not, unlike some of the other really young players that we've had that we just sort of bin off, we're not going to bin this guy off right away. We're going to develop him. We're going to have him out on loan, probably earning some money. We're going to do the best that we can to try to turn him into a player worth remembering. And so in the short term, it's going to be kind of ridiculous, but in the long term, it may turn into a pretty interesting story. You might want to stick around with us and see what happens. And so there you have it. We have all the ridiculous players and we have a whole ton of money. But that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to win everything, and that's the reason why they play the games. I hope you stick around with us. Make sure to subscribe and be with us for some of these gameplay videos so you can see what happens, because it's going to be definitely different, and it should be interesting. Talk to you later. Bye.